There we go. Sorry, had some issues getting the webcam going, but we're up and running. Starting out with the just chatting, because I think today the goal is to try to get a SCUM server set up and play some SCUM if everybody's down with that idea. Because as some of you may or may not have known, based on my posts, SCUM today was released on 1.0, and it has now become a serve it yourself server. I do not know if it's fully figured out yet on how to set it up with the tool we usually use. But the server files were released. I'm just double checking a couple things. So I apologize. I'm not distracted, but I'm somewhat distracted because we need to figure out how to get it set up. Now I did go ahead and I already downloaded SCUM onto my system because I didn't have it installed yet. The client anyways. That way it'd be a little bit easier to get things going, and then hopefully it doesn't take too long to get up and running. We just got to figure out what the server name is. Now supposedly it's under the tools in the downloads, and I'm trying to find it now because what I would need is the app ID, and I am not seeing the SCUM server app ID. So what does that mean? Let's go to community. Let's go to discussions. I'm trying to find the official app ID. Sorry, just trying to get, we need the app ID to download the game with Steam CMD. I think we have it. It looks like there's some stuff here. Let's get started. Let's jump into it, shall we? So what I'll do is I'll share my screen and we'll just kind of go through the process of setting up a new server, because obviously we're going to have to do that first. And then we could get then we can get the, shoot, there might be a hiccup with the Valheim server. If anybody's on that right now, I apologize. I'll try to do, oh good, it is live migrating it. Perfect. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out. I think we're going to do it on here. And of course, I just restarted that server. So what I could do in the meantime is at least get that set up. Oh, and you guys could see the screen. So that works out perfect as well. I don't know if we have any viewers today. Looking to see. Looks like, nope, just me so far. Try to get some people in here. All right, so let's go back over to here. You guys can see the screen. And while that stuff is loading, we're going to do a new virtual machine. We're going to set it up on this virtual server for now, just because this is the one that's up and running. Hopefully we don't get an error, but the other server is finishing updates. It's rebooting at the moment, so we'll come back to that. It is what it is. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, it does say it has to be on Windows, but I'm going to try on Linux. Personally, I just prefer Linux. We'll see if we can get it working. Oh, I need to create storage point for it. So for all of the servers, they get set up in a server volume. And then that's where the files get stored. So we'll go ahead and build the volume here. And it is a shared volume, but it runs at 30, it runs across a 30 gigabit per second network line. So speed-wise, it actually is pretty quick. That's why most of the servers, like, you would think they would have more lag because they're network shares. But the speed that I have for my Switch is 10 gig. And I've got a trunked pair, so they're trunked together. So it's actually like one 30 gig line. So we're good there. We're going to go ahead and we want to store the virtual machine in that cluster storage volume that we just created. And we're going to do a Gen 2. Now, we're going to use dynamic memory. I'm going to do, I think, 8 gigs. I think that is a good starting. And then we have dynamic memory, so it should go up from there if it's needed. And then obviously we're going to connect it to the network. We make sure that's there. And then we're going to do a terabyte. I think that should be big enough. In fact, we'll do a 2 terabyte just because I know it's a bigger game. And we'll install an image. So we'll go into images. And we're going to do the latest version of Ubuntu. And if we need to, I do have a version of a free Windows Server license. So we could do that as well if we need to. I also have some backup Windows licenses. By the way, thank you, Tuna918 or for the follow there. Hey, War Pigs, good to see ya, as always. So we'll go ahead and finish, and we'll start getting this virtual machine set up. And while that's happening, I'm going to just take a look to see what they're saying. All right. Because we're going to need to open some ports, and it looks like it uses ports. Hopefully we can configure the ports, because I don't like the ports that it's listing. All right. Well, let's take a look here. Oh, it just can't verify one of the two servers, so that's why. So one thing I am seeing though is it looks like you have to use your credentials to be able to download it, because it needs an active license, I guess. So we'll see once we get to that point. Right now, we'll just work on getting the server set up. I'm obviously waiting a minute. I don't want to overload this system with. Let's just take a look at the resource usage. Yeah, we're already at 112 gigs of 128 gigs of CPU, and I'm guessing it's other servers that are doing it. So I don't know why this has Komodo installed on it. So yeah, it's definitely being utilized. I'm a little worried if we go too much, it'll overload it. Oh, we also do have to do some settings here too. So let's jump into there really quick. And first thing, don't say anything. I know, just unfortunately it doesn't work well with with Linux. So I have to turn that off to get it to work. The other piece that we need to figure out is what the MAC address is going to be, because I'm going to need to set that. But I won't know until we start it up the first time. So we always want to automatically start. If it's stopped, let's apply the settings. We're going to say okay. We're also going to change the priority to high, because we want this one to be one of the first ones that loads up. And I guess in the meantime, we'll go ahead and start getting. We'll get it powered up and start getting Ubuntu set up on it. I'm going to see if the other server is... Oh. Gosh darn it. I installed a new security app on my computer, and it's messing with my host files. So all right, well, it doesn't look like it's fully up yet. Try one more. Okay, there we go. I'm just looking to see if the other cluster server is back online yet, because then we could start failing back some of the other stuff, and then we could start getting the game installed here. All right, so we'll go ahead and start that. I'll get it connected to the cluster. We're going to do this though. Resume. Oh, I can't. All right. Does it tell me what the preferred is? It does not. Well, we'll do this. We're going to move this one over to 1. Move this one over to 1. Oh, that one's already moved back over to 1, so that's good. And we'll move this one over to 1 because I don't think a lot of people are playing it, so should be okay. That'll give us a little bit more resources on here for SCUM. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started, and we'll start getting Linux installed and making sure the drive is configured fully and all that jazz. Because for whatever reason, it doesn't use the whole drive. I've noticed Linux. It won't use the full amount of drives allocated. I'm not 100% sure why. Give it just another moment or two here. So what I'm also looking at is trying to figure out if the app has come up with support for installing SCUM. All right, do this. Interesting. You know, we're going to shut down because there's an issue with... Oh, I don't want to unmount the CD-ROM. Oh, I know what. No, that should be right. All right, hang on. I got to figure out what the Nick team is called and yeah, it should be. Gosh darn it. All right, we're having an issue. It didn't get an IP address. We're going to try to figure that out quick. I think maybe I have it connected to the wrong network adapter. Okay, so it's that one. Try that. And then I'm going to just double check something here. All right, this will work. We're going to make that set, and then what I could do is I'm going to jump over onto my switch here really quick, or my router, sorry, and I'm going to assign a static map for it. And you guys can't see this part, I apologize. All right. Now I just need to figure out an IP address. Looks like the next one in the list is 67. Oh, I need to reapply the image file apparently. Okay. Start. All right, so now we should get an IP address and we should be able to proceed. Sorry about the delay. We're going to get this. We're going to get this going. I'm going to figure out how to get this server set up. And we're going to get a SCUM server online. Come hell or high water. And if nothing else, then this time we're not playing SCUM. We're setting up the server for the SCUM, and we'll do an intro next week where we actually play on the server after it's been up for a little bit. But I will obviously once we know it's up and running and everything's working, the information for it will get posted in the Discord. So if you haven't and you're watching this later, you know, the link will be in the description for the Discord. Make sure you join that. It'll also be on the website, www.7daysdedicated.com. And everything that I do, I try to get updated up there. Now, granted, I am still working on the website. I've just had a lot going on, so I haven't really been focused on the website. But I'm working on trying to get that finished and rebuilt. It's just me doing all of this. So, not trying to make any excuses. Reality is I just haven't had time. All right, we've got our IP address, so we've got internet. We'll get that going. I need to check a couple things here really quick. First being, I need to see. Let's do this one. I'm just trying to figure out. You only get 5 active machines for Ubuntu Pro. And so I'm just trying to figure out which account I have availability on. All right, so we have quite a bit, but if we look here, we've only got 100 gigs to be mounted. So we need to fix that. Oh no, let's do here. We're gonna I can never remember where I need to do this. Is it this one? No. Interesting. All right, well, what's left over available? What if I do 1 point works for me. We'll just put the whole thing in slash. I know that's really not the most logical way to do it, but it's just a game server. We just want everything to be accessible, so. Yes, we're gonna continue. Hopefully I typed that correctly both times. It looks like it. All right, so we are going to enable Ubuntu Pro, but I need to log in and check another account. No, cancel. I want to log in with a different login. I said log out. Give me the login screen. Thank you. Now, don't tell on me. I have 3 accounts for the Pro setup. Aha! All right, we've got a account to use. Oh, I'm waiting for it to give me a code. It's added. This just gives us extra security patches and things like that. So it's a good thing to have set up, because again, it just gives us that extra detail that we need. All right, tokens added. Continue. Yes, of course, we're going to install SSH. I don't need any of the extra stuff, and we'll get installed. All right, so this is taking a little bit longer than I planned, but that's okay. We're going to keep pushing through. We'll get there. It's you know, it's a process. It's a process. In the meantime, we're getting it done. It's going to be fine. I have confidence. While we're waiting, so I don't know how often I've talked about this. I try not to be too personal. But I did note that I lost my job recently. I believe I noted that I was an information security officer. So by trade, I'm in cybersecurity. I've been having a hard time finding a job. So one of the things I've been working on is getting some additional certifications to just make me a little bit more marketable, and get a little bit more visually appealing, so to speak. So today I decided to get the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity certification. I figured I've been in cybersecurity for a while now. ISC2 was offering it for free. When I was signing up for the CISSP training and certification exam voucher, I figured, all right, I'll add that on. It's free. I don't have to pay anything for it. I've been studying my butt off for the CISSP because that one's the one I really want to get. But I figured in the meantime, I'll just check this box and get this one out of the way. So without studying or doing anything for it, all I did was take the pre-assessment because it came with free training. But I didn't use any of the training. I just jumped right in and went and took the exam today, and I passed. So I am now ISCIT, or dyslexic brain there for a moment. I am now ISC2 certified in cybersecurity as of today. So that was a nice win, because the whole not getting a lot of job offers coming my way, I needed a win. So I did that, and it was nice to see that I at least I do have some justifiability in being in cybersecurity. I mean, there's a lot of people that have to study for that exam. I know my stuff well enough that I was able to pass it just on my knowledge and my work experience. So I am still studying for the CISSP. There's like 4 of the 7 domains I know really well, and then like 2 or 3 I know okay, but there's some stuff that I could do better on. So, and if for those that aren't familiar with cybersecurity, there's 7 domains in cybersecurity, basically different areas of cybersecurity that you're going to interact with. And CISSP basically says that you're a master or an expert in cybersecurity, at least from a leadership perspective. So you have to know a majority of all 7 domains. And that's things like, legal compliances and regulations, um, data security and classification, network security. I'm trying to obviously overly simplify what the domains are, but that's kind of the some of the examples of what the domains fall in. Protecting user identity, um, things like that. So surprisingly, I one of the ones that I struggled the most in was the network security, even though my master's is with a focus on network defense. And I'm not the best um, network security guy out there by any means. I'm not a slouch. I know network security. I think the issue is my biggest problem is things like pertaining to the OSI model and stuff like that. Like for whatever reason, subnetting, doing the quick math on the fly and trying to remember how to do that, pieces like that, those are the ones that kind of trip me up. More of the technical questions, I know how to do it. I just don't know the answers to it, if that makes sense. So yeah, long story short, it basically was just needed to brush up on that area and a couple others to just kind of solidify my best opportunity at passing the CISSP. Because most of the stuff I'm familiar with and I know, but obviously I want to make sure the technical parts I'm solid on too, especially because that's part of the interview process too. And like, I know you need to continually be learning, but at the same time, even though I know the stuff, sometimes I have an issue struggling with articulating the technical pieces. I know it, I could do it, and I could figure it out if I get stuck, but being able to like just on the spot answer a question, sometimes I freeze up with that. It's just not, my brain doesn't process in that Q&A fashion. It processes more in the doing. So like if it's a style where like I'm teaching it, something like this where I'm, showing how to set up the server, I could do the technical, I could do like the walkthrough on the security, all those pieces. It's just a matter of trying to think of how to explain this. It just kind of boils down to a matter of explaining it in a way that I don't know. Yeah, see, it's hard to really articulate. Explaining in a way that I'm covering all the steps, if that makes sense. Like that, well, I could do the problem solving steps and I could do the logical step by step process, articulating it in like a conversation and being able to describe it in conversation is something that I sometimes struggle with. So I'm working on it. That's part of why I'm doing the streaming. It gets better at that in person, that kind of speaking to a group, speaking in general. So it gives me the ability to work on thinking on the fly, trying to use less filler words like and and all that. And I'm not perfect with it. I'm getting better, I feel. I still do it. I think everybody does it. It's easier definitely to not do it when you're running from a script, whereas like when I do these, it's me. This is me. This is in the moment. I am streaming off the cuff. And I'm just going with the flow and with what's happening in the moment. So using those filler words ends up being more necessary almost, because ideally I'm not leaving long pauses. Ideally I'm not leaving big gaps in speaking, because this is a live stream. I want you guys to be engaged. and even transitioning it over into the YouTube space, I want it to be, I want it to flow in a way that it's not just a bunch of ums and ahs all the time. Because I'm going to take the stream as it is and then upload it into YouTube. I want it to be like for like so that if you miss it, you have a platform you can go back and watch it on. Or if somebody, doesn't necessarily look on Twitch a lot, maybe they look more on YouTube. Again, it doesn't get missed. So, yeah, it's, it is one of those situations where it's just kind of trying to be a better speaker, trying to be more mindful about slowing down too, because that's another thing. Like, it's easy to talk fast, and it's easy, especially in the technical world. And I'm just gonna, again, we're waiting, so I'm just kind of filling the space here with conversation. But when you're in a leadership role in IT in general, and in any kind of a technical role, and you're talking to leadership, you have to assume leadership doesn't know what you're talking about at all. So sometimes you have to slow it down. You don't want to talk too fast because a fast cadence can make them feel overwhelmed. And that's partly because, again, it's a subject matter that they're not adept in. I don't want to use expert in because I think expert is too far, just even adept in it. They might know enough, but they don't know enough to be in that role. So they need someone who does have that technical skill and knowledge to be able to translate it into normal conversational speech, like what we're doing right now or what I'm doing on the stream, where I'm talking to you about things and it's casual. It it can't be over the top technical or people might get lost in it. So, like, trying to explain how we were setting up the drive there, instead of like going through like, oh, we set up a 2 terabyte drive on a system with 4 processors and 8 gigs of virtual memory that's responsive and adaptive to the environment, etc., etc. That isn't going to be helpful to a leader. So I would leave out a lot of the technical stuff. I would say we did a large drive for ensuring that we have enough storage for everything that's needed. We made sure we set up an adequate server with the resources that are needed to run what we're running, and let them then ask the technical questions if they want to ask the technical questions. But rather than giving them the technical questions, you're gonna bring it down and make it a little more understandable and relatable, right? Like, if I say to you, you need a computer that's going to have enough storage to run the stuff that you want to run on it, most people understand what that means. Now, there's still some that might not fully understand that even, but for the most part, most people are going to understand what that means. But if I was going to say to you that you need an M2 SSD, PCIe SSD with 2 terabytes of space, the average person isn't going to know what that means. They just know that they're going to need enough space, so they're going to rely on someone to tell them what enough space is. So, then that opens up that ability for them to ask, okay, well, what's enough space? How much space did you allocate or did you set up for it? And that's when you could say, well, we set up 2 terabytes because we wanted to make sure we had enough drive space for whatever files might get downloaded later during updates and things like that. So it's changing that molding of the conversation to be more user friendly. And now I've got 20 plus years in IT and customer service and learning how to talk to the users to make it understandable and make it less trying to think of the best way to explain this, less overcomplicated than it needs to be. And I think, in all honesty, the best example I have of it and how and like doing the troubleshooting and communication process in like a customer support situation was something I learned when I worked for Unisys back in like 2006, 2005, 2006. I worked on the Park Nicollet account here in Minnesota at one of the hospitals here, so I was essentially Dell IT representative through Unisys. But one of the customer support methodologies that was taught was a method called LIST. Listen, interpret, solve, and then translate. So obviously the first step is you listen to what the user is saying the problem is. Now, they're not always going to tell you in a way that makes sense what the issue is, or they might tell you like several different things what the issue is. So you want to listen to everything they have to say before responding. And then what you're going to do is you're going to interpret it back to them. Okay, so I heard that you're having an issue with X, Y, and Z. Is that correct? Did I miss anything or am I incorrect in my understanding? And you want to make sure that you're interpreting it back in a way that you're just trying to get understanding and that you're not telling them what the problem is, but you're asking them to confirm what they're saying the problem is so that you understand that to be the problem. Because they might say, well, no, X and Y aren't really a problem right now. They were a problem before. Z is really the problem I'm having right now. And that helps you identify what route you need to take to solving the problem, which is the next step. So then you troubleshoot with them and try to solve the problem. And obviously that's going to mean, especially in non face-to-face support, but like over the phone support, walking them through things. So you need to start at the very basics. I am having an issue logging into my computer. Okay, so as I understand, you can't get into your computer. The first step is to make sure, is the power on? It seems trivial, it seems condescending, but you have to make sure that it's powered on and it's plugged in. So you have to ask, what point are you at? Is the system powered on? Are you at the login screen? Because that's going to help you identify, do you need to check if the cable's plugged in? Do you need to troubleshoot power issues? Any number of possible things. So you're going to go through that troubleshooting methodology at that point. Then the next step is obviously translating back everything that was done. So you're gonna translate back to make sure that one, everything that they were having an issue with is now resolved, but also two, to make sure that they feel that the problem is solved. Because even though you're gonna solve it with them and troubleshoot it with them, the issue isn't solved until the customer or the end user, or however you want to list that person as being, is satisfied that their issue is solved. So that's the last part, is translating back and making sure that you understand that you understood what the problem was and that you were able to work with them to get the issue solved and what steps you took to solve that issue. Because all that also needs to go in your ticket when you're documenting everything that you did. Oh, this part is done. So we can actually disconnect from this. Or wait, I can log in here, right? Yeah. All right. So obviously I'm going to be putting in a much more secure password later. I'm just going to use a semi-secure, easy to type password for myself. So we get it done. And now you'll see the first thing that we notice right away is that there's 57 updates to apply. So we're going to get those applied right now. We want to make sure that those are, everything's up to date. Uh-oh. What happened here? Something. Lock up on me? What's going on? All right. The session seems to have locked up. I'm just going to make sure that this didn't reset yet. Let me get connected back to that server here really quick. So yeah, that's the process. Is obviously, you know, you gotta go through those steps. I don't know. What's going on here? So we're gonna, there we go. All right. So for those that aren't familiar with Ubuntu Linux or Linux in general, with Linux, a lot of times you're going to update from the command line. You do a lot of things from the command line, but you're going to update from the command line. Now, the way Linux does it is there's a couple of different app management tools that you're going to manage your applications with, including the host server applications and updates. With Ubuntu or Debian, which is the overarching version of Linux, it uses the apt application manager, essentially, APT. And what we're saying here is we're saying, as an elevated admin, use the application manager to update. And the first part we're doing is updating the pool of sources that we can download updates from. And then we're saying, and as an elevated user, use the update program, the app program manager, to upgrade the available apps that there are to be upgraded. And we're putting in this -y that says, yes, we want to do it. So do it now. This way it won't stop and ask us if we want to do it. And then when we're done as an elevated user, use that app management program to automatically remove any outdated files or apps that we no longer need that are in that pool. So just as an example, if say we're updating Steam CMD, I'll use that as the example because that's what we're going to use to host the game with. Say Steam CMD was installed on here, and that was something that was getting updated, but we had an old version that was left behind when we updated it. The auto remove -y is going to say, yes, we know this is an old version. We don't need it anymore because we have the new version, so go ahead and remove it. To say it just cleans everything up and makes sure that we're not using extra space we don't need to use. So we're going to go ahead and say enter for that. It's going to ask us for our password to confirm us for that elevation of rights to be able to do the install. Shoot, and I'm typing the password wrong. Hopefully that works. There we go. Okay. I was a little worried there that I screwed that up. So yeah, so now you can see it's going through the different sources. That's what you can't see my mouse very well, but these pieces over here that say hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. The archive ones that are on this side, and I'll just highlight them. Oh, I can't highlight them. Oh darn it. I typed something wrong. There we go. Let's try this again. Instead of typing sudo, which means switch user do, so to get that elevated kind of administrative privilege, I type supo, which isn't an actual command that it recognizes. So again, we're going to let this run, this process run. It's going to do its updates. We're getting closer. We're almost there. I wonder how it knows what to grab. Oh. I'm just looking to see how it knew to grab the share window that I'm doing. Because I don't see that I had anything set up for that. But it caught it anyways. Also partly because I'm going to need to switch to a browser window, and I want to be able to change to that when we get to that point. So this may or may not work, because again, like I said, it's saying Windows, but we can emulate Windows with Linux through a program called Wine. Obviously, again, in case you're not familiar with what emulate means, we're gonna trick Steam into thinking that it's being installed on a Windows system instead of installed on a Linux system. And yes, I'm putting on my glasses because we're going to start getting technical here soon, and I want to be able to read things a little bit better because this is new to me, and I want to make sure that we get it set up. I'm looking to see too if anybody else did the SCUM setup. To kind of, I want to see what they what and how they did it. All right, so that stuff is all done. So the next piece we're going to do is get cube coders installed. So I need a new tab. Get started. Install AMP. All right, so now we're going to say we're logging in as the default admin or root account. And you can do that with sudo-i. And basically you're going to see it now makes it look like we're logged in as root. Root isn't actually installed on this system. It's just interacting as root. So that we've got the full admin rights that we need, because now we're going to set up the system and we're going to do a bash or born again shell command, which is that an O? I hope that's a capital O. And we're going to say enter, and hopefully I typed that right and it does what we need it to do. Perfect. All right. Oh, this is the crappy part. Okay. All right. So we're going to do it this way. SCUM admin. All right, we got that set up. Would you like to isolate by running in containers? So we're going to say yes to this. It just helps things run a little bit smoother. Unfortunately, I can't install HTTPS because this is behind a firewall, and we're only going to open the ports to the game. We're not going to make it the whole system accessible to the internet. So we're going to go ahead and install AMP. And while that's doing that, I'm going to get a new Oh, give me one moment. I got a call coming in. I do apologize. Sorry, just one moment, please. All right, sorry about that. That was my mom calling. She is working on getting stuff ready still for the estate sale, and wanted to call. I've been looking for some new suits for the job hunt and stuff. So, anyways, that being said, yeah. What was I talking about? I don't remember where I was at. Completely lost my train of thought. So now we're just waiting for this to finish getting set up here, and then we're going to switch over to the browser. I need to grab something here really quick though before we get that far. Oh, it's already ready for me to do it. So give me 1 second. Oh, I was setting up a password is what I was doing here. Oh, that's not, I wasn't done. And where is it? There we go. All right. Oh, I suppose I need to put the port number in. There we go. Sorry, I'm just getting logged in for the first time. Oop. I'm not going to share that because I need to put in some information really quick. Sure, why not? All right, so we're restarting AMP. Everything's good. Everything's grand. I think I can. Yep, it's up and running. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. And close this. And we'll move this over. And now we're going to try to figure out how to change the stream. Let's see here. Oh, it's not going to let me get. I don't know what the hotkey is. Shucks. How can I? Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out what we need to grab here, and I'm not seeing it. Because I'm must not allow you to open Chrome for some reason. All right. Sorry. Hang on. I'm trying. Let me try this instead. I'm gonna open it over here. All right, let's see if this will work. All right. Nope, doesn't seem to like it. Well, we'll give it a second and see what happens here, I guess. Maybe it'll pick up. Doesn't seem to be picking it up. Oh. All right, sorry, I was setting up the password. I don't know why this isn't. I'm not sure why it's not capturing the window. It's selected. All right, that isn't going to work. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to do there we go. All right, just took me a little bit to figure it out. We're going to move it down. Oh, I didn't mean to move it. Uh-oh. Did I move it into there? I did. I didn't mean to move it into there. Dang it, I'm not trying to... No! All right. I'm trying to make sure that it... Let me just stick it down here. Oh, no. What? What? All right, it needs to be at the top, apparently. All right. Either way, we're in. Let's not overcomplicate this, shall we? Okay, so we're going to go to instances. And first and foremost, we're going to create an instance. And just for the sake of argument, I'm going to look to see if SCUM is one of the instances. It is not. So what are the options? Because we're going to just do a Steam CMD instance then. a Python. I don't see Steam CMD. It's not TeamSpeak. Uh-oh. How do you install just a blank app? You might not be able to do this yet. All right. Apparently we need to do oh, there's some additional JSONs in here. I wonder if SCUM is in here. All right, here we go. No, it's not. Well, poops kaboops. Is there just a Steam CMD? We might be stuck at this point. I don't know. Looking to see if anybody's tried to get SCUM working yet. Chatting in the Cube Coders chat here. All right, here we go. I'm looking. I'm just trying to see. What I need to do to get started. Working on it. Yeah, I'm not. So far, I'm not seeing it, and it's like. So we may have done all this for nothing. We might have to switch over to a Windows server. So what do you say, since we can't really seem to be getting it working yet. That we just play some SCUM locally. Because, yeah. It looks like there's a drop box. Oh, no, that's got a 404, so that's not available anymore. This is so interesting. Let's see. Oh, I tell you, they don't make this easy. Never is easy. All right. Well, yeah, I think we're just, since we can't get it working right now, rather than, just reading the server tutorial, and we'll just have to come back to it next week. So today, for now, what we'll do is we'll just play some SCUM, and hopefully next week we can actually play on the server. I haven't played SCUM in a while, and you can play it locally. Okay. So there's at least there's that, but we'll go ahead and remove the window capture because we don't need that anymore. We want it to capture the game, so hopefully once the game starts loading, it will auto capture. Oh man, I hope it hasn't been so quiet the whole time. Shoot, the volume was down to like 20 something. So if you guys were having an issue hearing me, first, nobody told me. Two, I forgot to like actually check. All right, it's loading. Close. Okay. Oh, we're gonna skip. Yeah, no, we're not gonna. we're gonna go that, and we're gonna do a sandbox. We're just gonna call our guy Geo. We don't have any points for distribution, so we'll just leave that. Sure. We're gonna leave concealed privates on. In fact, why don't we just grab a guy that has underwear, huh? Oh, they got Danny Trejo. I didn't know that. Ah, whatever. Good enough. I don't know. We're gonna leave it. We're just gonna select a default here. And go with it. Alright. Next. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looks good to me. Trying to find a matching haircut, but I think that's the best match it has. So we'll go with that. Oh, apparently I can't. I'm missing the pack for hair. You need to buy a pack to have facial hair. That's silly. I feel like I'm gonna try to get them all into basic. Bring down rifles just a tick. Get handgun to basic. I'm not really worried about aviation. Definitely need endurance. Let's see. Survival, I definitely want that to be medium. Cooking, I definitely want that to be medium. And that's all we're gonna get. Hopefully we'll be able to get better as we go. No, I don't need to do player protection. This is just the sandbox again. We didn't get the server up and running today, so
my life was a peaceful one.
We don't care about all that crap. We just want to load in. So There's zombies in it. You know, they're going to drop you in as if you're in SCUM or in like PUBG or something. You don't really have a whole lot of control over it.
Secure communication established. Prisoner, you can call me Dina. This part of the protocol is kept short to increase the chances of you not becoming a human pancake. Use the following parachuting instructions, and I will make contact if you land safely. Secure channel closed.
All right. We barely survived that.
Secure communication established.
I don't know
Welcome
where
to
I
the
am.
SCUM Island. I am an AI created by Tech One Corporation. My full designation is Dual Energetic Entity Neural Appliance version 2.0. My intellect excels, but the creators think I am best used as a tutorial, protocol overseer, and body performance analyst. I will now provide basic movement instructions. Your survival rate is 4.32% higher just by not standing still. You have now been granted access to my knowledge database, the Codex.
All right.
Access it now. If you are unable to find a piece of information in the Codex, it doesn't exist. When you are ready, proceed to the Tasks tab.
Tasks tab. Is that under... Here we go.
Data suggests that regularly completing tasks enables prisoners to overcome many of the island's challenges. I take 99.7% credit. Secure communication established. In this tutorial protocol, you will learn how to craft a stone knife. By commencing this task, you have shown your determination to remain alive, but this is only the first step. Follow my instructions carefully. First, search the ground for 2 stones.
I'm looking for stones. I don't... That looks like bark. I don't think that's a stone. There we go.
Excellent. Proceed by opening your crafting user interface.
Okay.
On the right side of the interface is your items crafting panel. It has different kinds of recipes, but you currently lack the needed materials for most of them. Now click on the stone knife recipe and use the Details button.
Done.
Here you can see every component needed for crafting. The instructions were followed properly, so the needed stones were already gathered. Press the Craft button.
Oh, well. Didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to look for stones. Do I have 2 stones? Okay. Apparently I need to craft a second knife because... Yeah.
Congratulations, you have now proven more capable than 52% of other prisoners. To use this, now drag the knife into the hands slot, or right-click it, and use the Take in Hands interaction. Crafting a stone knife protocol is now completed. Your progress is admirable. You can leave the user interface or visit the manual tab to continue with the next protocol. Secure communication established.
All right.
There are many dangers on the island, many of them trained by me. You do not stand a chance in your current state, so you will now reinforce your knowledge by crafting an improvised wooden spear. First, find a nearby bush and cut it with your stone knife.
Alright, I guess I gotta cut a new bush, because... Yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear what the game is saying as well, because I know I'm not talking a lot.
You just acquired a long stick. To craft an improvised wooden spear, use the same process as in the previous task. Start by opening the crafting user interface. To find recipes easier, use the search bar. Find and craft an improvised wooden spear. This time, I will allow you to skip the details button.
Yay!
Once again, to stay above the average, open the inventory tab and place the spear in one of the two holster positions.
One of the two holster
It can be done by dragging the spear from the vicinity. Good work, prisoner. Your spear
so
won't do much
condescending.
against a rocket-propelling grenade type of weapon, but it is a step in the right direction. Continue your training as soon as possible. Secure channel closed. Secure communication established. Prisoner,
Alright.
remember the following rule. If you find anything useful, you must acquire it. Unfortunately, your inventory space is very limited. Change that by crafting an improvised courier backpack. Begin by entering the crafting user interface and crafting a branch rope. Remember, click on the Details button to see what components you need.
Alright. Look at that. I think I've got everything I need.
If you take a look at the components needed for the improvised courier bag, you can see all of your equipped gear right next to your inventory. Begin by right-clicking on your undershirt and using the cut interaction.
Yay! We're making a bag.
You are now one rag component short. Cut your underpants or boxer briefs. It is for the greater good.
As long as I don't crap myself, right?
Finish the process by crafting the improvised courier backpack.
There we go. Sometimes it's nice to go through the tutorial stuff because then you get an idea of, you know, what it is you need to do and how you need to do it. And it's been a while since I played this game, and it is quite complex. So it'll be fun to get a server going.
Congratulations, you are now qualified to run around and pretend you are a mule. That was my joking algorithm. It is still in early access. I will now unlock the next tutorial protocol.
I'm just gonna keep doing tutorials.
Secure channel closed.
Right? That's what the game is here. Alright. Crafting. What do I need to make?
Secure communication established. By doing an involuntary full body scan of each prisoner, I deducted that not everyone is suited for hand-to-hand combat. That is why you will now craft wooden arrows and an improvised bow. My evaluation is that you are now capable of solving this task with minimal problems, and my evaluation has a 0.2% margin for error. Start by crafting wooden arrows. If you have your cutting tool and the required wooden sticks, you can try out the AutoCraft feature. The button is located between the details, and in your future ventures, feel free to also craft an improvised quiver. For now, your new backpack will have to suffice. Pick up the arrows and place. 2 variations of bows are available, the 20 and 35. Heavier poundage means more strength is needed to pull the bow, and the shots are more powerful. For the sake of this protocol, you can now craft any of the 2 variations.
I'm going to go ahead and cut some more branches down so I can make these bows. Because I'm sure I'm going to need to. It's a good thing we're on a sandbox and not like on a server, because I'd be dead by now. Alright, so what is needed to make the bow? We need to make rope. Do we have enough? Oh no, I need 2 more. So we need to craft 2 rope. What would that be? What would that be? Improvised rope, branch rope. Okay. Now we go here, clear that, and we should be able to make this. Now we're going to craft that.
There is still 1 holster spot available next to your spear. Place the bow there. Chances of your survival are increasing at a great pace. Keep following my instructions, and you may have a chance on the island. Secure channel closed.
Bye.
Secure communication established. It seems you have been injured. Do not worry, it's a normal occurrence on the island. Most of the prisoners die, but this protocol will teach you how to treat your wounds and find more information about them. It is crucial that you're aware of your proficiency in the medical skill, so first, open your metabolism user interface.
All right. Done?
You can check the details of any skill to see exactly how it works, but for now, check the details of the medical skill.
None.
The health user interface is right next to the metabolism one. It is notifying you that something is wrong. Open it. On the right side of the health user interface, you can see your body. All conditions have a severity that increases over time if you leave the injury untreated. Your injury has a C2 severity. If you possess the ability to read, you must have noticed that you need rags to treat it. Find some rags or cut some of your equipment to acquire them.
Oh, you're kidding me. We gotta cut up our socks. You don't want to cut up your socks. You need your socks. You gotta keep your socks dry, remember? Lieutenant Dan said so. Lieutenant Dan would be so mad at us right now. Okay, so it doesn't explicitly say how to use them. Here we go. It just took me a second to figure it out. Okay. Am I good? Did I get it?
Secure communication established. My instructions have now prepared you for the inevitable dangers throughout the whole island. Since survival is your main goal, it is time to start exploring and searching for sustenance. Search a few world containers. My algorithm shows that this is a highly repeatable process without which you will fail at staying alive. World containers include tree trunks, kitchen counters, drawers, and anything that can hold items. Go and make an effort.
Okay, so that looks edible. Oh, apparently it wasn't edible. Alright, well now I've got to find something. So let's... I need to head this way. I don't know if it's restoring my stamina or not. Alright, well, we'll just jog it. I mean, I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go too slow either. Is this an olive? Here we go. What does this have?
Now that you have experienced the process popularly called looting, narrow your search down to basic nourishment, like food and beverage products. My data suggest humans should consume fruits and vegetables and can drink mostly anything as long as it is in a bottle.
Trying to head towards this town over here. It's getting close to 6, so the stream is almost coming to an end, but we'll go just a little bit longer just because obviously it took us a little while to get started, and we still gotta figure out at the end of the day how to get... Oh, that's poison ivy, I think. I think I might have just searched poison ivy. Oh, we got some strawberries.
To track what is happening when you consume such a product, open your metabolism user. On the right side of the metabolism panel, you can track everything nutrition needs to know about your health and well-being with multiple tools, including a diagnostic screener tool that predicts recommended foods up to the hour of the person's last meal. Active algorithms suggest that recently consuming an item had a great effect on your body. Be careful. Consuming foods and drinks will eventually lead to urinating and emptying your bowels. Secure channel closed.
Oh, I keep doing the wrong thing.
Secure communication established. My human body analysis suggests that your body will need to get rid of all waste accumulated from consuming food and beverage products. As quality pants are hard to acquire, I suggest you learn how to take care of that before it's too late. To start, open the metabolism user interface.
Okay.
The chances of destroying your pants are now reduced by 26.6%. Now you need to learn how to empty the before-mentioned body parts. First, close any opened user interface. Now access the circular user interface from which you control your colon and bladder. If you can't explore all the options at a later date, for the needs of this tutorial protocol, the available options are piss, poop, and vomit. I don't prefer repeating myself, but the connected body parts need to be at least 50% full before you can empty them. Since the human bodies are designed so poorly, I suggest you take care of these functions before engaging in combat situations. My algorithms show that everyone dislikes dying with brown pants. Secure channel closed.
I don't know. I don't mind dying with brown pants. All right.
Secure communication established. As human bodies are inadequately designed, they will freeze below a certain temperature. To combat this, humans created clothes that can get wet and speed up the freezing process. I will now teach you how to craft an improvised fireplace, a contraption that will help you stay alive. Start by opening the crafting user interface.
We're going to ignore her for just a moment. You know, I just remembered, along with zombies, we also have to contend with animals. And if I remember, bears are incredibly sneaky. You don't see them, but they see you. I don't think we're getting any closer to a place where we can find stuff. No, you're not. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, shoot. I don't know which way I need to go. I don't know which way I'm going. I gotta be careful about that because, yeah, I don't want to get lost. But I'd like to find a house. Oh, is that aloe? That is. Well, dang nabbit. Can I put it in my quick access? No, because I need to be able to pick it up. Can I? I don't know why I can't stack these. There we go. Interesting. So you can't stack items. Well, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. We're not going to waste time on that. What's in there? Is there anything to eat in there? A fig, huh? Is it safe to eat? I mean, it would seem like it is. I don't know. It doesn't. Here, eat it. If we get sick, we get sick, right? Uh-oh. Tastes funny. That's more aloe. We need a bigger bag. So we need to get to like a house or something. I need to stop looking around at stuff. I bet you there's... Oh. Feeling slightly chilly. I'm gonna need to make a frickin' fire, aren't I? Alright. Crafting.
Until now, you have only been using a third of the crafting user interface, the Items tab. It is time to further your... My system UI is impeccable. Therefore, the search options function just like they do on the Items tab. Find the improvised fireplace and open its details.
We need brake oil.
Logic tells us that two things are required to build a simple fire: a combustible material like tinder, and, in this case, some sticks to fuel the fire. First, craft tinder. If you have followed my instructions so far, this should be easy for you.
All right. That'll get us high. We don't want that. Blah, blah, blah. Slow, slow, slow. Okay, so we need to make tinder. Uh-oh, my knife is almost done for. This is why we need a bigger bag, better clothing.
Great work! Were you a carpenter before you became a prisoner? All you need now are some wooden sticks. Your survival skill impacts how many you will need, so let's be safe and gather a good amount.
Let's see here. Do more sticks around? Doesn't look like it, so we gotta make a few more. Where's the sticks? They're not giving me any sticks? Alright, well let's cut this one down. I need sticks, darn it. This might be the end of my It's not... Oh. Okay, well, I've got tinder. Where did my tinder go? Or do I still need more sticks? What do I need to finish that? I don't know what to do. It's telling me I need to gather sticks still, so I don't know. I don't have enough room to gather sticks. This is dumb. What do I have in my hands? Can I just drop these? Where is my wooden arrow? Put that back in here. Let's go find the... Uh-oh. Double oops. Hopefully he's not fast. Oh, he's fast. I'm just going to keep poking. Hopefully I can get him. He's got clothes on though. He might have better pockets than what we have. He does. He's got better boots too. We're injured though. Let's see. No. Nope. Ours are better. Well, we got a hat at least. Nope. No, I don't want to wear those. Oh, we need to make a knife. Another knife. We don't have a knife. It's a good thing we know how to make them now. Yeah, I know it wants me to collect the sticks. The problem is I can't pick up that many sticks at one time. Oh, I can't use those rags? Why not? Because it's not sterile. I don't have anything to treat them with though either, so we're just going to move on. There's a house, there's houses right up here, so if I could just get to those, we should be safe. Ish. Then we can figure out the sticks issue later. But right now we just need to... This is the difficult part about this game, is like... It's hard to know what you need to do. Alright, we're getting low on stamina, or we're starting to decrease in stamina. We're going to run as long as we can though, because like we need to hurry up and get over to those houses. We need to start scavenging. I think we're going in the right direction. Hopefully, again, we don't run into any bears or any critters along the way. Gosh, I feel like I'm not getting any closer to those houses. We're a little hungry. We're just a little thirsty. Alright. It's gotta be like right up here, right? Uh-oh. I heard something. Ideally, I'd like to see like a roadway or something. I have a feeling it should be right up here, though. Alright, here's the roadway. We're gonna walk. Hopefully this will restore some of our stamina. And we can run to it. Or maybe we'll find some sterile rags to patch our wounds and... Okay, we're gonna pick up the pace. There it is, I see it. Is there some corn? No items found. Ooh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, here's a house. Maybe we'll find a bag and some stuff that we can actually use. There's a couple houses. Well, I'm not one to say no to seeds. Is there anybody in there before we try to go in? What do we got? A kitchen board? I don't really need that. Oops. Keep pushing the wrong thing. Let's see. We got some earplugs. Ooh, some gloves. Take those. Anything in here? Anything in here? Oh. Well, this is a bit of a bust, huh? Maybe we'll get lucky in one of these other ones. Hopefully there's not like a Evil Dead in one of them. Alright, let's go upstairs. No, that's a spoiled egg. Don't want that. No, no, not getting very lucky. It doesn't look like we get many of those, so... Woohoo! That's probably a little dangerous. I probably shouldn't have done that. These are like melons. Anything? Nothing. What's that? Oh, a cooking pot. Oh man, we need that cooking pot. Let's move this over here. Oh, it's too big. That's too bad. Oh, here we go. What do we got? We've got some. That there. Grab the thread. I'd love to grab the cooking pot, but it's too big. Unless I can find a bigger bag. Ooh, the magnifying glass is a good find. We're going to cut this into rags so we can treat our wounds. I almost forgot about that. Oh, I don't need to worry about it anymore? It's almost healed? Okay, well, let's put them in the inventory then. Because if nothing else, I can at least hold on to them in case we need them. All right. I don't really need to equip earmuffs, I don't think. Some pants with more pockets would be a nice find. What do we get? Small screwdriver. Can I? Yes, I can. Kind of hoarding, but you almost have to, you know? Grab those bolts. I don't know what those are going to be good for, but anything good. A coal bag and some rebar cutter. Oh, that's much bigger than I thought. I'm not finding anything I can use though. Alright, well, check these ones. I guess let's head over to these ones over here, huh? And then we'll call it. Oh, you know, I didn't check the vehicle. Oh gosh, there's some Evil Dead right there. That was scary. Does that mean there's going to be more Evil Dead here? Hopefully not. Oh, look, a motorcycle. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. What do we got here? Tractor headlight. Some nails. Grab the nails because we might need those. Ooh, raw grapes. How's my hunger? I'm gonna eat up. I need to check my metabolism, make sure I'm not ingesting too many calories. So far, we're okay. Oh, but what's my sugar? Oh, my sugar is really low, so I can shut up my fiber a little bit as well. All right. Well, we might have some friends in here, so we got to be careful, but we're just going to search this building. See if there's anything worthwhile. Oops. I always hit escape and it says tab. I don't know why I do that. I wish we'd find something worthwhile. I think I already searched that. Like a good backpack would be nice. Alright, well, we're going to have to get kind of close to those Z heads over there. We'll sneak in the back way. That's shut, so we can't go in there. What's that? Tomato sauce. Well, I don't have any room for it because they're not giving me like a backpack or anything. Yay! Okay, we got a waste bag. So now I can put the tomato sauce in the waste bag. I wonder if I can get in through the window. There we go. Okay, what do we got? Motorcycle mask? Yeah, we'll put that on. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna let's drop those. We cut them into rags. We're gonna need rags. All right. All right. Well, for now, this is where we're gonna leave it. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight. We went a little long, but we didn't get the server going, even though we started trying to get the server going. So it's going to be a little bit there. But hopefully next week we'll be able to actually have the server online and we'll do a second stream for playing on the new server once that's up and running. And yeah, until then, have a good week. Again, if you're having any issues with mental health struggles, please know that you're not alone. There's people that care. There's people that want to help. Mental health should be a journey. It's just taking that first step. So don't be afraid to take that first step. If you need to join the Discord to have someone to talk to, even if that's all you need to get started, we're more than happy to talk. You know, if you're having more issues though, obviously we're not professionals, so we're always going to tell you to seek out help from a professional. But you know, we're here. If you need us, if you need, that's what this community is for, is to be a community and be together with one another. So definitely don't go it alone. Don't struggle with it. Yeah, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek help. So don't be afraid to do it. As always, you know, we try to stream weekly, so next Tuesday should be the next stream. Again, hopefully the servers setup will be ready by then, and we'll be able to do that. And until then, have a good one. We'll talk to you real soon, and thanks for watching. Have a good night. Have a good week.